Hello guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to be talking about Kaapo Kakko and if he goes first overall due to his World Championship performance. Now Kaapo Kakko just captured gold in the 2019 World Championships, and because of his performance, does New Jersey draft him first overall in the upcoming 2019 NHL Draft? Watch till the end to find out. Now, the Jack Hughes versus Kaapo Kakko debate has been a controversial one throughout the whole season, but because of Kaapo Kakko's brilliant season, how he's playing in both the Liga and in tournaments so far, it really does raise a lot of questions about New Jersey and if they'll actually pick him with the first overall pick. Ever since New Jersey won the lottery back a month ago, Jack Hughes was really the favorite to be picked by New Jersey first overall in the 2019 NHL Draft. But since then, the question has become less, does Kaapo Kakko actually have a chance of being first overall? And the question is more geared toward, is Jack Hughes still the favorite for the first overall pick? That's how close it is right now, and it's affecting obviously the New Jersey Devils, who will be picking the first overall pick, whether it's Jack Hughes or Kaapo Kakko. Now, New Jersey is faced with one of the toughest decisions that they've had in pretty much their franchise history, and that's become such a tough question between Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko because of the recent play of Kaapo Kakko in these past World Championships. Now, both players, Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko, played for their respective teams, Jack Hughes being with Team USA and Kaapo Kakko being with Team Finland. But the gap between the two, especially play-wise, was unbelievable, and Kakko, he was dominating the tournament while Jack Hughes was barely getting any ice time. Now, when we compare the World Championship stats between Kakko and Hughes, it starts to get a little bit lopsided on the side of Kaapo Kakko. He played 10 games, of course, winning gold with Team Finland in this World Championships, playing 10 games, getting 6 goals, 1 assist for 7 points, while Jack Hughes, on the other hand, playing with Team USA, getting eliminated in the semifinals. He played 7 games, getting 3 assists for 3 points. While Jack Hughes certainly wasn't bad, especially when we factor in the ice time, Kaapo Kakko was really dominant throughout the whole tournament. And this is what leads us to how much Kaapo Kakko has accomplished at just age 18. Just barely being an adult, he already has a U18 World Juniors gold medal, a U20 World Juniors gold medal, and a World Championships, which is against most adults, gold medal with Team Finland. And it just shows how clutch he has been throughout the tournaments he's played so far, how kind of lucky he's been being on some great Team Finland teams, but how he's been able to lead and play well in every tournament he's gotten so far. And of course, getting those gold medals shows how good he has been in those tournaments at just age 18. Kaapo Kakko has proved himself against both teenagers and adults to not just be good against them, but to be dominant against them. We saw that in the Liga, how good he really was, setting the goal-scoring record for U18 players in the Finnish Liga. He was absolutely fantastic and deserved that, quite frankly. We saw that in the World Championships that just concluded, him winning a gold medal, but still being good against quality opponents like Team Canada and still showing up and playing well. Again, throughout that whole tournament, 7 points for a guy that young, 6 goals is nothing to scoff at, and the guy at age 18 is playing purely amazing hockey against adults that are pretty much decades older than him. Now, in the past, with videos that have been on this channel, I have made it no secret that Kaapo Kakko is my favorite prospect in this 2019 NHL Draft. I'm a USA-born guy. I love to cheer for my USA-born players, but Jack Hughes, to me, is the second best prospect in this NHL Draft. I've had Kaapo Kakko number 1 as the best prospect in the draft for about 3 months now, and now people are starting to go on the hype train because of the World Championships. But for the people that put the defense of that it's recency bias, that people might have Kakko over Hughes, while that might be the same thing for some people, I've had Kaapo Kakko as my number 1 for most of 2019, and I see that sticking that way. When it comes to the final mock draft, spoiler alert, I have Kaapo Kakko as number 1, and that shouldn't surprise anybody that's been on the channel for the last few months. And you can call me biased all you want, but I'm a USA-born guy. I was born in Texas. I don't really have any reason to be rooting for Kaapo Kakko and to be putting him number 1 ahead of Jack Hughes. It's not like I'm a Canadian-born guy that doesn't like Americans or anything. I love to see my Americans play well, and I would gladly take them over some other countries. But when it comes to Kaapo Kakko, I won't deny the fact. He is the better prospect right now at the very least, and I think is the better prospect even in the long term. And for people to recognize him as the best prospect in this draft, to have him number 1 in rankings, what else does Kaapo Kakko need to do? He has done so much. He's had such a successful season. One of the most successful seasons we've seen from a draft-eligible prospect in so long. Medals left and right. Records in the Liga left and right. What else does this guy need to do to prove himself to people that have Jack Hughes as the number 1 overall pick? Because Kaapo Kakko has proved himself to me. He's proven himself to me a few months back back, and it's been that way for a long, long time. For how well he's done this season, for how much he has done this season, he deserves to be the first overall pick, and in my opinion, first overall for the New Jersey Devils. One of the main reasons why people might have Jack Hughes over Kaapo Kakko is the potential argument. And this one, I can kind of get if you said this like 3 or 4 months ago. I completely get that. But to say that Jack Hughes clearly, definitively, has the better potential right now, I just think it is kind of flawed. With Kaapo Kakko, again, he has had such a better season. I think people kind of have to justify Jack Hughes being number one. And the whole potential argument comes up time and time again with Kaapo Kakko versus Jack Hughes. And again, I think Jack Hughes probably more likely has the better career than Kaapo Kakko. But that's just assuming stuff. That is potential right there. And you can't really gauge potential, but you can gauge stats, and what the stats that Kaapo Kakko put up were absolutely brilliant and better than what Jack Hughes did. Now, for me personally, when it comes to NHL potential, I have Kakko and Hughes about tied. I don't want to sit here and say that Kakko has bad potential or that Hughes has so much more potential, because I just don't really know that. I don't think anybody watching this knows exactly what these guys' potential will be, because it's mostly a guess. Potential is a guess. And when it comes to my guess, I have Kakko and Hughes tied, because I mean both players are fantastic and will be fantastic players in the long run. And that's something important to remember, because both of these guys will be fantastic, even if I think Kaapo Kakko might just be a little bit better. When it comes to potential, again, that's something that you can't really calculate, that you can't really gauge potential, at least to an everyday basis. But when it comes to the stats, Kaapo Kakko obviously has that. We can tell in the stats. We can tell how good stats are because they are definitive. We know what stats these guys put up. And Kaapo Kakko, throughout the regular season, throughout these tournaments, put up better stats than Jack Hughes did. And I finally believe that. In the Liga, in the World Juniors, in the World Championships, Kaapo Kakko was the better player and the better prospect, and he proved himself as that this season. Now, of course, this is where the New Jersey Devils come into play. They have the first overall pick. They make the definitive answer on who is better for the time being, Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko. And this is where it becomes so important, because both players are fantastic. New Jersey was in the same kind of position back in 2017, where they had the first overall pick. They had to decide between Nico and Nolan. I thought they were going to go for Nolan Patrick, but they ended up going for Nico Hischier. And obviously, looking back on it between the two guys, that was the right decision for New Jersey. They made the right decision then, and I think when it comes to this NHL draft, they'll make the right decision again. When the draft lottery was announced, when it was announced that New Jersey would get the first overall pick, I made a video right after that explaining why I think Jack Hughes would be picked by the New Jersey Devils. But things have changed since then. That's about a month later, and a lot of things have changed. With the World Championships, there was a lot by both players, a lot of opinions being thrown out, and New Jersey Devils, I think their opinion has changed. When it came to the lottery, and when that happened, I think they were slam dunk going to go for Jack Hughes. But because of this World Championships, it has swayed the opinion of a lot of different people. It's the final tournament of the season for both of these players. I think now the New Jersey Devils have an even harder decision to make than they did before. Before the World Championships, we really didn't get a good look at how Kakko could play against men that are in the NHL and are NHL players. While the league obviously showed there's some fantastic players and good pro men in that league, it's nothing really compared to teams like Team Canada, teams like Team Russia, who he was facing against pretty much every other game. Well, we saw in the World Championships how Kaapo Kakko was able to raise that level, not just play against quality men, but play against NHL players, and guess what? He practically dominated against a lot of those teams. And even when he wasn't scoring goals and scoring points, he was still good, and that is good to see. And if I have to be honest, I think the New Jersey Devils are kind of scrambling right now. I think once the lottery was announced, they were dead set on Jack Hughes. They were going to pick him first overall. But since Kakko has had these amazing numbers in the World Championship, since he's played so well, I think they're now second guessing what their final decision was. And they have a month until the draft, and it's not like they have no time on their hands. But this is a big decision for the New Jersey Devils, and one that will go down as one of the biggest ones in franchise history. And Kaapo Kakko versus Jack Hughes, you guys already know my opinion. But when it comes to their final decision, which is the most important one, let's be honest here, I think it's kind of jumbled right now. There's going to be a lot of different opinions in that franchise on who they should go for. And while it might have been dead set on Jack Hughes, I don't think that's the case anymore. Now, I still think, in the end, the New Jersey Devils will select Jack Hughes with the first overall pick. But don't be surprised if they end up picking the better player and the better prospect, Kaapo Kakko, first overall in the 2019 NHL Draft. But of course, with this video, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. down in the comments down below. So, let me know, what do you think about the Kaapo Kakko versus Jack Hughes debate after the World Championships? Who do you prefer, Kaapo Kakko or Jack Hughes? And for the New Jersey Devils, who do you think they'll select first overall? But, if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you can click on this card right here to watch my video about my top 5 most NHL-ready prospects in the 2019 NHL Draft. But, that'll be it for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on the Jack Hughes versus Kaapo Kakko debate and who you think the New Jersey Devils will select first overall. And I'll see you guys next video or stream. Goodbye.